The emission of air from the backside is something that characterizes us all, including animals. However, this topic always makes us uncomfortable, mainly due to the bad smell that often comes along with the bang. Indeed, although one can willingly bear one's own emissions, and perhaps even like them in the case of excessive self-love, it will be much more difficult to bear the flatulence of others. So in this video we are going to understand more about the phenomenon of flatulence. In particular, we are going to see the chemical composition of farts, the causes, and possible remedies for the bad smell. But let's start to see terms. Common people speak about this phenomenon using various colorful terms. In the scientific field, these terms are not acceptable. Therefore, scientists switch to a more refined language that allows them to treat the phenomenon with appropriate behavior and detachment. Indeed, they use the word flatulence, which comes from the Latin word flatus, which means breath. But what's inside a fart? Observe flatus. The 99% of the emission are made up of odorless gases. The exact percentage may vary from individual to individual, depending on age, diet, and ethnic group. Most of the gas is nitrogen, one of the major components of the atmosphere. This gas is found in our emission because when we eat or drink, we swallow the outside air too. If this air is not erupted, in jargon burped, the air from the stomach passes through the gut and inevitably comes out of the last of our holes. The other major component is hydrogen, produced by the bacteria of our intestines, followed by carbon dioxide and methane, which are also mainly produced by bacteria. The last one is oxygen. Looking at the chemical composition, two important conclusions can be deduced. First, some of these gases are flammable, such as hydrogen and methane. This is the reason why some people cheerfully set farts on fire by placing a lighter near the place of exit. And they do that successfully. Second, these gases does not smell at all. All five are odorless. So why do farts smell bad? The answer is in the remaining 1% of the chemical composition. In fact, this is the quantity in which sulfur-based compounds are present, such as hydrogen sulfide with the smell of rotten eggs, methanethiol with the smell of rotten vegetables, and dimethyl sulfide, which release a sweet smell, but not at all pleasant because similar to that of cabbage. These gases are so full smell that a trace presence is enough, like in our farts, to create a perceptible smell. Now let's see something about the production. A healthy human being on average emits 22 flatus per day, each of the volume of a golf ball. The quantity emitted during the day is by no means negligible. In fact, it corresponds to the volume of 1 to 2 liters of air per day, for a worldwide emission equivalent to 7 or 14 billions per day. But what is the cause of flatulence? The first cause is the air we inadvertently swallow while eating or drinking. It is estimated that for 10 milliliters of water drunk, a person can swallow up to 17 milliliters of air. Therefore, if on average we drink 1 to 2 liters of water per day, this means that we swallow several liters of air just by drinking. Some of this air is emitted by belching, but some passes from the stomach to the intestine and then exit out through the rectum. The air absorbed by swallowing is mainly composed by nitrogen and oxygen, which are the two major components of the air. Besides swallowing, however, there are other three causes of flatulence. The interaction between bicarbonates and acids, which produce CO2, the diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen from the blood, the metabolism of bacteria present in the gut, which produce oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and methane. but also the sulfur-based compounds responsible for the bad smell. But there are some remedies to reduce flatulence. One of the remedies to cut the cheese less, hopes to reduce flatulence, is definitely to control the diet. Indeed, excessive consumption of legumes such as beans or peas leads to a greater probability of a high flatulence. Other foods on the blacklist are milk and dairy products, but also all foods rich in carbohydrates. For example, all the flour-based foods such as pizza, pasta, bread, etc. However, limiting this food is very difficult. Therefore, another possibility is to eliminate exclusively the products rich in sulfur-based compounds, in order to reduce at least the bad smell of the little and often silent tooths. These food are the cruciferous vegetables, for instance, red cabbage, black cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, turnip tops, but also radish, mustard, horseradish and rocket. However, this last strategy would only eliminate part of the bad smell, since, as we have already seen before, a certain percentage of the sulfur-based compound is directly produced by the bacteria in our guts, independently from our diet. Therefore, with these strategies we have just seen, in addition to continuous food sacrifice and stress in food control, we will not even be sure of the success of this operation. Luckily down, business-minded scientists have invented a cushion lined with highly porous charcoal that can be installed directly into your underwear and can reduce the nasty smells coming from sulfur compounds by as much as 19%. Therefore, thanks to this invention, we can fart wealthy whenever we want, without holding back or limiting ourselves in diet. An amazing invention, which, however, has the limitation to not taking into account the thunderous bang that often come along with the gas, making us suspicious to prying ears. Science, unfortunately, has not found a solution to this, but with a little cunning, a remedy could always be found, such as trying to cover the noise by coughing, dropping an object, or screaming. Well, thanks to this video, you will now be able to free yourself. But remember the saying, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Therefore, if you are tempted to point your finger to naive people who do not have the charcoal cushion and try to mock them, you have to hold your mouth because of this popular belief. However, in the end it will be only a small effort if compared to the freedom gained from not holding your